Most people never question it deeply. Not because they can't, because they're afraid to. Afraid that asking hard questions might unravel everything they've believed their entire life. So instead, they accept complexity without examining it. They repeat phrases without defining them. And when something doesn't fully make sense, they call it mystery. But here's the problem. A mystery is not the same as a contradiction. And when it comes to understanding God, that difference matters a lot. So let's ask the question directly. Does the Trinity actually survive logic, or does it collapse the moment you examine it carefully? The Trinity claims three distinct persons: Father, Son, Holy Spirit, all fully God. Not one-third God, not separate gods, fully God. At first glance, that sounds balanced, until you slow down and define the words. Because logic begins with clarity. So ask yourself, what makes the three distinct? If they are truly distinct, there must be something that differentiates them. A different role? A different mind? A different will? Because distinction without difference means nothing. But the moment difference exists, you no longer have absolute oneness. You have plurality. Now take it further. If each person is fully God, then each possesses complete divinity, complete power, complete knowledge, complete authority. So now you have three complete divine persons, and here's where the tension appears. Can three fully divine beings still be one being? Not symbolically. Literally. Because if each is fully God, nothing is lacking in any of them, which means you don't have one ultimate divine reality. You have three. And calling them one essence doesn't solve the problem. It only renames it, because shared essence does not erase distinction. Three humans share human essence. They are still three humans. So if three persons share divine essence, you still have three divine persons. And now the structure begins to crack. Then there's the issue of will. Does each person possess will? If yes, can those wills differ? If they can differ, you have multiple centers of authority. And multiple ultimate authorities cannot coexist absolutely, because conflicting wills become possible. But if they cannot differ, then the distinction becomes meaningless, because independent persons, without independent will, are not truly independent. And once again, the logic starts collapsing. Now think about something deeper. God, by definition, is absolute, independent, without limitation. But distinction introduces limitation, because each person is identified in relation to the others. One is not the other, which means each is defined partially, by separation. And separation is limitation, but the unlimited cannot be limited. So now you're left with a difficult reality. The more you try to explain the Trinity logically, the more complicated it becomes. More conditions, more exceptions, more philosophical adjustments. But truth doesn't become weaker under examination. It becomes clearer. Now compare that to pure monotheism. One God, absolute, undivided, independent, no internal distinctions, no shared persons, no layered identity, just one ultimate reality. And when you test that, it holds consistently because it aligns naturally with what God means: unlimited, self-sufficient, without equal. And that simplicity is not intellectual weakness, it's logical strength. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people inherit belief before they examine it. And once something becomes tied to family, culture, identity, questioning it feels dangerous. But truth should never fear scrutiny. If something is real, it survives examination. So don't settle for inherited assumptions. Think deeply, ask clearly, because this is not a small discussion. This is your understanding of God. And if your understanding of God contains contradiction, everything built on top of it becomes unstable. So ask yourself honestly, does the Trinity become clearer the more you analyze it, or does it require more explanations just to hold together? Because when logic is applied consistently, only one concept remains fully coherent: one God, absolute, without division, without partners, without contradiction. If this changed your perspective, subscribe, because the next video might challenge what you've always assumed.